Welcome back to your Grit Fit Feel Good Challenge. David here. In the last video, we had a challenge, a monthly challenge to deep breathe several times a day for several minutes, to do push-ups in 1 minute, see how many we could do, and to train for a month. One thing I failed to mention is training to do a lot of push-ups. Just do it 3 times a week or every other day, otherwise your muscles won't heal properly. Also, it's good to mix things up. Add weight to yourself some days, maybe do a lot another day. Just mix it up. And then the cold water challenge, it's a lot easier to take a hot shower before you turn the switch over to cold. And I'd recommend that because there's a lot of benefits of a hot shower too. I will go over those things later, but today I wanted to talk about 2 breathing techniques that I find fascinating. One I've been doing for a year, and then recently I've been trying this Wim Hof method just for kicks, and I've been doing that for about 2 weeks, and I found it fascinating what you can do. I'll just go over that right now. You time yourself right now how long you can hold your breath, and then you'll find out that it's probably not that impressive. But when you do the Wim Hof method, you breathe in and out deeply and rather rapidly, and you, after the end of about 1.5 minutes of breathing deeply and rapidly, you just time yourself on how long you could hold your breath. And when I first started that, I was amazed. I had my brothers and sisters and nieces and other people doing it, and they were just freaked out because we had timed each other, and most people were under 1 minute to hold their breath. And I remember doing this in high school. 1 minute was like great. And then I had them do this Wim Hof method, and all of a sudden they're 1 minute longer than their first breath test. So I'm just going to go over that really quick. There's a lot of videos on the Wim Hof method, so you can just look up Wim Hof, Google it, and you're going to have a ton of information. But what he does is lays down, because when you do this, you get dizzy, and you'll get tingly. Sometimes you'll feel like weights are on you, or you feel rooted into the ground. It's just some different feelings that you get. I breathe out of my nose about 1/3 of the time, and then the rest I breathe out of my mouth because it's a lot quicker to breathe out of your mouth. But this is how you would do it. You try to expand your ribs as much as you can when you breathe, so you can get the full effect with your lungs getting full of oxygen. And I'll just start it with my nose. Now with my mouth. Now Wim Hof, on the last breath, he has you exhale, and you'd be amazed without any air in your lungs how long you can hold your breath. I've tried it exhaling, and I've also tried it with air in my lungs, and I can hold my breath a lot longer with air in my lungs, but I usually let it out just slowly. So anything you'd like to do on that, it's up to you. And it's always good to just try breathing deeply. You don't have to do this technique. If you do this technique and you go 1.5 minutes of breathing fairly hard, and then timing yourself, breathing fairly hard, timing yourself, it's going to take over 15 minutes. But the second time you do it, you hold your breath longer for whatever reason. The third time, it's even longer. And I've got to almost 4 minutes just with a couple weeks of trying this. One caution is you have a diaphragm that I believe is a muscle, and I actually had it hurting for a little bit, so I overdid it. So just kind of work up a little bit on these kind of things. Getting used to the dizziness or the lightheadedness and things like that is just showing that you're getting oxygen to your cells. The second technique comes from Andrew Weil, MD. He calls it the 4-7-8 breathing exercise. And so you inhale for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 7 seconds, and then you exhale for 8 seconds. Looks like this. When you exhale, you make a whooshing sound to release tension, to relax your body, and you do that through several cycles. He suggests that you start with 4. I do 5 cycles, and I usually hold my breath longer. I breathe in deeper, and I found what he said would help you fall asleep faster. I've been doing it over a year, and it works. I could not believe it, because I had a racing mind. I go to bed, but I was never sleeping because my mind was racing. And he said it would take 20 seconds. Now it takes longer than that, but it's pretty fast. This Andrew Weil recommended that when you do this, there's a yoga technique where you put your tongue on the back end of your upper teeth, and also on the roof of your mouth a little bit, and that helps. It might have magical powers, who knows. I usually do it 5 times myself, and I do it throughout the day several times for a lot of different reasons. And this Dr. Will was mentioning that there's a lot of health benefits, and he goes through that on his video if you want to just Google his name. I usually at the end of it say a short little prayer of thanks or gratitude, or just think of a good experience I've had, and then I will accept some blessing that God for me to help others, to do something of value, or to just be of help.